Hi everyone, and welcome to She. I am so excited about today's show. Are you seeing my eyes are even closing as I say how excited I am? Because on the show today, I have two amazing women. Did you hear that? Amazing. And they are not only amazing by just being women, they're amazing mothers. They're acing it in whatever they do. And they'll be telling us about that and nannies. You know, research shows that up to 70% women have more than 10 nannies in their lifetime. And you know that research is talking about me and many other women, because I think I fall in that bracket. Because since I started having children, my friend, I have had nannies upon nannies. I don't think even as I sit here, I have figured that out. So I'm even seated here to be helped as these ladies speak today. And you know, nannies are important, and house managers as well, you know, because some people call them house managers, because they support us in this journey of parenthood, you know, whether it's feeding the kids, etc. We will find out today. And you know, it's interesting and scary because some people have some scary stories about them, and some people have amazing stories to say about their nannies. So please call all your friends, tell them the show we've been waiting for is here, because we are here to learn from you too. So drum rolls. I don't know who wants to go first with introducing themselves.
My elder.
Your elder.
My elder.
Okay, please go ahead. She's judged you. She's decided you're older than her.
I received the wisdom.
Sure, go ahead.
My name is Nyambura Pot. My English name is Vivian. I am married and I have two wonderful babies who I'm excited about. And I can't wait to share my story about nannies. Can't wait. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. You know, I looked the highs and lows, and the Lord led me to you. So I am happy you're the one who's here today to share. So thank you and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Faith. Hi, Vivian. My name is Batha Mainge. I'm a mother of two, and I'm married to one husband. And I'm happy to be here to also share my experiences with nannies, or I like to call mine manager. Yeah, so I tell her she helps me run the house. So I'd really like to share my experience, and I look forward to the chat that we're about to have.
Yeah. No, karibuni sana. And you know, it's interesting. I think I reached a place where I thought maybe I'm the problem when nannies and house managers are concerned. Until the other day, someone also told me I have the combination for which nannies also don't like, because I have 4 sons, you know. And I think with my youngest, who's around 10 months now, I've still had such a high turnover, and I had peace for a few years. So I think when I had the little babies, you know, newborn age, I just tend to have, you know, that high turnover and all that. And, you know, so then I think maybe it's that there are 4 boys, and maybe it's true, because sometimes I'll be doing the interview, and maybe this is where I go wrong, because I do all my interviews on the phone, and I'll be like, hello, and we go through all the questions. Then they ask you, how many children do you have? For vijana ama wasichana? Vijana wote. Hey, sasa, kuna rafiki yangu, yeye anaweza hiyo kazi. So I want to start from there. You know, what has your experience been? You know, probably, I don't know, did you have help before you had children? You know, or did you start seeking help when you got children? And what has that been, you know, with the first child, second? You know, is it more difficult with when they're 2 kids, or has it been, you know, there are also those guys who have, they got 1 child, got a nanny, 10 years later, the same. I see such people, I'm like, God, you know, if I started afresh, the joke with my friends, it's easier to get a good husband than a good nanny. So we'd have been praying more for the nanny at that time. You know, those who are blessed, we speak about them in the gates. Where do you guys fall?
Well, I think a lot of how we do life is informed by how we were brought up. So a lot of how we do life in our own spaces was informed by what we saw when we were growing up. So for me, I remember the last nanny we had, I was in class 4, which was a while back. So when I got my own baby, my first child, I was not of the opinion of getting a nanny. So I used to feel like super mom.
You can handle it.
I can do everything. I can cook. I can be with her. I got this. And then I was a stay-at-home mom. And one of the things that we are privileged to have, especially living on this side of the world, is that we are able to get help and affordably. And we might take that for granted. So here I was getting my new child and all the trauma that came with it. And I remember for 1 year I did it.
Like did all the cooking,
Did
cleaning?
everything. But I was a stay-at-home mom also. But I struggled, guys. I struggled. So I'm here to tell you, there's no shame in getting help.
I was just about to tell you, you need to address the nation.
Yeah, please, there's no shame in getting help. Because a lot of that staying alone, trying to prove a point that I can do it all, also led to a lot of feeling postpartum depression and struggling with myself.
Okay.
Because I constantly felt like I'm not being enough for her. I'm not doing the most for her. I was not getting a break even for myself. And I lost myself. I remember hanging out with my friends and I'm like, who am I anymore? Just mom. And that help, getting a nanny, for me I call her nanny or housey. Getting a help helped me walk back to finding myself in this motherhood journey. Yeah, that being the background.
Yes.
Well, I went back to work after an year. And so I got a couple of nannies.
Yeah.
First of all, you're in the green. Where do we get them? My
And
mom.
you're also used to doing your work by yourself.
Doing by myself,
So you're like, hey.
you know. And if you know my personality trait, I'm a choleric. So I like things done in a particular way. So I struggled with that.
Yeah.
So got my nannies from my mom's friend has a bureau. And she's like our mom, so we never used to pay the fee.
But you get the help.
But I get the help. Lucky. So she got to a point, she was like, what are you doing? But they keep on going. So yeah, I'm like, hey, is it me?
Yeah.
Am I the problem?
Am I?
So yeah, it was, could I be the issue? Perhaps my child is a difficult child. You ask a lot of questions, yeah? So I remember just getting to the point in nannyhood where I was like, Lord, let me be like that. They talk about me at the gates. I'm like, yo, Lord, I just need one where I will have a peace of mind. And I guess hanging out with my friends and hearing their struggles also helped me now figure out what I was doing wrong. And what they were doing wrong.
Me, all my friends seems to have it good. I think I'm the only one. Like I'm the only one on this side. Everyone is on this side. Sijui 10 years, sijui retirement and getting another one who they keep for an elongated period of time. I'm like, what is wrong with me?
She's the blessed one.
Yeah. Oh, are you one of those?
She's the blessed one. Can we clap for her?
Please stand at the gate.
As we talk about our struggles.
We are
My
sorry.
goodness.
Anyway, so I do count myself blessed
Yeah.
to have had one nanny for the duration of time that I've had my firstborn. So my firstborn is 3. So I've had my nanny close to 4 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. So just like Nyambura, I also grew up, with nannies, and then got to a point and the nannies weren't there. So we had to do work for ourselves. So I got married. We had help, someone who just would come and clean 2 times a week, and that was that. So, but then when we got pregnant, my cleaner at that time wasn't able to come be a live-in nanny. So that's how we ended up getting one. So she came in as a referral from my sister who had a help, and the help was like, oh, nikona mtu. So did an interview, not a phone call one, at least we met with her.
Like face to face?
Yeah, face to face.
So do we say that's the first tip?
Probably try.
Because now you're the,
Gold standard.
Because me, I'm always surprised at my door. I'm
Your
like,
door, you're like,
okay,
so
all right.
point number 1.
Are you the one who did this interview?
Lakini let's just put a disclaimer out there.
Yeah.
Hii mchezo ya nannies haina formula.
Yeah.
Let's just put the disclaimer out
Actually,
there.
I don't think there's an exact formula.
I don't think there's a formula. So so we did meet with her, had an interview, and of course asked a few questions. Where were you working? How many children?
Just don't whatever, because there are guys who are writing notes.
Oh, you don't want me to gloss
including
over?
myself, yeah? Because I've done those physical
really?
interviews. I was even told, don't do it at your house.
Oh, really?
Do it in a restaurant,
Somewhere
so they don't see your house and judge you by the house. But still, it didn't work. So you're saying, which
Okay.
questions are we asking?
So we did. I met with her, asked her a few questions. So well, this was in 2020. So some of the questions we asked her were where she's worked before, if she's worked with young children, why she left her previous employment, you know, also got her documents, just at least to make sure that we are dealing with someone who's legal. Yeah, so
Like her ID.
yeah, like her ID. Yes, not to keep it, to just take a photo at least for evidence. So yeah, so we've had her for 4 years. It's not to say that we've not had our fair share of
mishaps.
Yeah, but it's been easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you
what
ask
I
her
should
if she can
mention,
cook, or for you
Yes.
it just mattered that she could take care of the baby?
yeah, it mattered that she
clean.
could take care of the baby, but then there's something Vivian has said. Vivian said she was a stay-at-home mom and then went back to work. I am a stay-at-home mom. So by virtue of that, I was going to be home
Okay.
with her there. But we were onboarding her not for the child care initially. We were onboarding her for housework, cooking, cleaning, and all of that. So that was basically what she was meant to do. We have a funny story that me and her, we talk. So the first time we asked her, unajua kupiga pasi, because mzee's shirts need to be very nicely ironed, they need to be white. So she came in knowing, hapa ni kutaumana. But then again, there's a way, I think I oversold the job.
Okay.
And then when she came, she was like, oh,
It's easy
Cook
going.
very
easy going,
Yeah.
yeah. So of course we asked her, do you know how to cook? And I've realized many of them will tell you,
Yes.
no.
No.
Yeah, because they don't know how you guys cook.
Yeah, so I was going to say most of them, when I ask, can you cook? They're
Yeah.
like, yes, I can cook, but I can't cook.
The way you
you
guys
want
do.
to. Yeah.
Yeah. So how we went over that hurdle, the other thing that I do with nannies is I let them get into the kitchen. I tell them, okay, leo tunaweza kula chapati na dengu. So you get into the kitchen, cook for us that chapati and dengu, how you do it. Then I come and tell you, let's
was
try. Yeah.
I do the same
Let's
thing.
try. Okay.
I wish I was you guys.
What do you do?
Perhaps. I tell them, okay, fine. I have type A personality, so my things are really planned out in my house. So I'm like, did you check the wall? Did you read the timetable? She's like, yeah. Did you check what is being cooked? Yeah. So I'm like, okay, make it. I am a foodie. I like good food. It's such a joy to eat good food.
It is.
Such a comfort.
Yeah.
Anyway, I feel like the showing them, to some of them, they feel like I've been doing it like this for so long, and there's been nothing wrong with it. And so you showing them perhaps feel like perhaps your chapatis are off.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I normally just tell them, okay, I'll help this way. I'll do this if you're not able to do it the way we like it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Hakuna formula.
Kuna formula.
Because
Yeah, and I also think every home is also different.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think it's more, like you said, a blessing of finding that ideal
Yes.
house manager or nanny for that home. As in where you just come, like it's an aha moment, like they match. You know what I mean? And I guess that's why one nanny would leave like my house and come to yours and be there for
thrive.
10 years, you
Yeah.
know?
yeah.
And I both of the opinion, Faith, that life is seasonal. That's where I've reached in this.
Tell us.
But life is seasonal. If your season with me is over, I release you with God's love, God's grace. Thank you for the time that you served us. Because I also wanted that so bad. I wanted a nanny who would stay so bad. The longest I've had a nanny is 1 year. And we were like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord, for that 1 year
Yeah.
where we rested. And when she was leaving, she kept on asking me, Mama Hera, you don't call me. Like, she expected me to beg and be like, just stay. And I was like, if it is your time to move on, if it's your time to do other things, it's okay.
fine.
Yeah, we release you. It's okay. So long as we didn't let go of you in a bad situation. And I don't know whether this particular nanny that stayed for 1 year, I feel like this journey of this life that we meet people and we're mingling with people, working for us, we're working for other people. We are in the journey of sanctification. There's something she's teaching me. There's something she's learning from me. She's being sanctified in her own way. I'm being sanctified in my own way. So it's not like she didn't do things where I was like, ungeenda jana.
So true.
Yeah. Jana. And with time, you learn to be gracious. You learn to accept them into your life with all their shortcomings and good things. They have upper hands, lower hands. And that I learned actually from her, because I used to find her nanny and I'm like, eh? Like sometimes she'd do something detrimental to me. I'm like, thanks. Thank you so much. But she just keep her. And I'm like, how are you keeping her? You're having so much grace for her.
Yeah.
And perhaps that's not what we are having. We're so willing to
No,
be
in fact, I always tell myself, I'm like, gosh, I'll think of it like just in a normal office setting.
yeah.
You know, where like, you know, your boss doesn't send you out the fast.
The fast.
You know, they're just gracious. But no, for me, the thing is, I fire very few. Out of the many nannies I have had, I have fired very few. In fact, I think the ones I fire are the ones I catch stealing, or who I catch lying or something like that. And even though sometimes I'll still forgive.
still
It's not the
forgive,
first time or the second time. It's probably the third, fourth time you're like, okay. Yeah, but you know, I'd still find it so difficult. Like I've had some who will come in and it's like maybe it didn't hit them what 4 children look like. They walk in, they're like,
oh my goodness.
no, no, I cannot. You know, and they leave. Or they're there 1 month as they find another job. Then I'm like, oh well, yeah.
Is it
Yes.
discouraging for you and me when they
No,
when
it
they
is.
leave?
In fact, I think my lowest lows in my adult life, most of them have been.
Yeah.
When a
Like
nanny
there are
leaves.
times I'll be in a car driving to work after I've dropped my child at some daycare somewhere and I'm in tears literally. And I'm just like, honestly, why can't I get this right? You know, like I've done everything. Like at some point I've even
Done the best.
I've gotten my friends to interview them. I'm like, okay, maybe it's how I told these guys.
It's my face.
I've gone through everything. And I guess you just have to figure out what works.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe it leads me to my next question. You know, there could be a new mom who's just getting at this for the first time, you know, like, and they're like, where do people find nannies, you know? And, you know, so yes, it's easy to just walk over what to look at, etc. But are there things that you'd say, for me, they have worked when I'm hiring? For me, they have worked when I'm looking. You know, like how for me, I'd say like the last place I'll go to right now is an agency. Yeah, but I also know people where that works. So what would that be for you guys?
I feel you find your feet. It's like the way people say you will find a good husband in church. Are you sure? Are you really sure? So,
Well, the high probability.
you'll find a good man. Yeah, which high probability you can also find a good nanny at an agency.
Yes.
But I also have the opinion that agencies are businesses. And these businesses must be kept running. And so if you stay with one girl for 4 years, that girl is out of business for 4 years. And so I'm of the opinion that they are just for keeping you going. Keeping you going for a small season, next season. Referrals do great. Like you said,
so.
there's a nanny who can come to your house with your 4 boys and be like, hey, but you know her strong points and maybe you know me. And you're like,
Yes.
I feel like that chick could have been a good fit for your house. So referrals have worked great for me. Another thing would be age-wise.
Yeah.
Age-wise, for me, I would look at it so much. So you would be referring me, but I'm like, age-wise would also play a particular role
Like,
in my
do you mean
house.
the age of the house
Of the
manager,
house
or the nanny?
manager or the nanny, yeah.
Okay, so what's your ideal age?
The older, the better. The older, the better, because they are more grounded. She has responsibility. Yeah, she's more settled in her mind that I need to do X, Y, Z. That's why I'm here. It's a means to an end. Yeah. But for
school
someone
fees
else,
needs
it's
to
for,
be
that school fees. I need to take care of my babies. They're in school. There's something that she's getting from my house. But for younger girls, I've found out that it's a trial and error. I'm still figuring out this life. One day she's like, I don't think this is for me.
No, they won't be there for long.
For long,
because
yeah,
they're
they
probably,
don't stay.
they're probably
They're here and
going
there.
to school or looking for money to go to school.
Oh, they want to get married.
Yeah.
Or get
That
married.
too.
Or they have a boyfriend. So they're normally not there. And there are things that are valid. If someone said, okay, fine, I want to go to school, would you say no?
No.
No,
you
you'd be like, yeah, let me just
One of
release
my
you.
most amazing ones, I think she was with me for 2 years. She said she wanted to go to school, and she was so brilliant. I kept feeling like I'm being so unfair having her there. So when she said she wants to go back, I was like, please, you go back.
That one you didn't cry?
No, sadly. But I loved her. She was teaching the kids. Like, she was just smart. I loved her. And we need to take a break. And, you know, when we come back, let me just prep you. You know, I think we also often forget, just like in the workplace where we forget human beings are not human resources. They're not a computer. They're human beings with parents and children at the back there. I want us to talk about the humanness of this nanny and this house manager and what that means. And, you know, do we remember that? Do we sit down and go like, gosh, she's a human being? So think about that, and let's take a break. We'll be right back.
We are living in a lost and broken world, constantly bombarded by messages of hate and atrocities. But with God, we can overcome. Find hope and restoration on the go through life-changing shows on the Family Media app.
And then you will lose yourself and gain the world. And Jesus said, what good is it?
Get to stream Family TV and Family Radio 316 straight from your phone. Catch up on a show you missed or create video streaming playlists by saving and watching videos from our huge variety of shows at your own convenience. Download the Family Media app, available for all Android and iOS users on the Google Play Store and Apple Store respectively. Family Media, keeping Jesus on the airwaves.
Welcome back. Right here on She, talking about nannies and house managers and how to, I guess, take good care of them and hopefully figure out how to get the most ideal one for your house. And, you know, we talked earlier about, you know, there's no hard, fast rule. You know, you just get blessed and, you know, you hopefully get that right person for your house. But I guess there are a few tips here and there, you know, and I hope you've gotten a few. And, you know, before we took a break, we were talking about just the humanness of the nanny. And I remember my sister had a help for like 10 years. She's one of those blessed ones. And her nanny sadly passed on. And her nanny was my friend. You know, because of the drama I had had with my helps, she was like my backup plan. And she was always so open. So anytime I'd have like, you know, nanny issues, I'd take my kids to her. And then my sister travels a lot as well. So her kids would be in my house a lot. So I got so used to her help. You know, my sister would even be like, I think you're crossing that boundary. You guys are too tight. Like on her, like free days on Saturdays when she's in working, because my sister's kids are older, would even go shopping with her. Like we became such good friends. Then she got into this baking thing and, you know, I love to bake. So we'd be exchanging recipes and all that. And then she passed on. And I remember us going for her funeral and I met her dad and mom and her children and her relatives. And I was like, oh my gosh, like these people have
Lives.
like lives, like outside
Of you.
you know, and you know, yes, they're there taking care of your children, but they have a life. And to hear now her family side speak about, you know, how she was the hope, you know, because they've been with my sister for so long, she was getting such good pay, you know, she was helping so many other girls, you know, like, yes, you can start out being a nanny, but that's not the end, because now she was baking, we were buying cakes from her for birthdays and things like that, you know, and so she was the hope of that village. And I was like, you know, I was like, these people have
lives.
You know, because we forget. And the same thing with any other job. As a boss, you forget that this person has children and emotions and all these things, and you just think they're just there as your worker, you know? And I want us to talk about that. How do we take care of our helps at home? You know, because maybe there's someone watching and they will learn from you, and somebody, a nanny out there, gets blessed by listening to you. So what do you do for them outside that? Yes, we know they cook and clean. What do you do for them outside of that?
let me go. So when we got our house manager, I remember feeling so conflicted. Again, she was the first live-in we'd have, and I was like, how do I relate with her? Remember, as I mentioned, there are nights or evenings where it would just be me and her. So we were in a house and it gets really quiet. So I think at that point, that's when I got out of myself and just said, let me find out who this person is that I live with. So yeah, so we started talking. You know, like I'd ask her, or she'd even just mention Kina so and so. Like, so we started off talking. Like we'd have just conversation. And I got into the habit of always asking her, how are your children? How is your husband? How is your sister? Where did you grow up? How are your folks? And all of that. So I do know her. And when she has an opportunity, she also asks me these questions. So just realizing that she is a human, I did get to that point. But this also came from a point of, I put myself in the shoes of, if I was in such a job, would I want a snobbish boss, or I'd want someone who was in touch with my humanity? You know, you'd want someone who'd want to see you beyond the mop and the rag and the duster. Yeah. So, and when I did get to know her, I came to realize just how talented she is. There's a way she would pick out clothes for my baby, and I'd be like, hapa tuko na designer. Like, I'd even, like, now I would load on her a lot of praise. I'd be like, hii hapa uko na talent. You know, and now also think of ways how I could even help her. Yeah. So we are still going to get there, but then there are things of, I mean, I could think, do I go to Gikomba, get for her clothes, see how she can put pieces together. She also, remember when I said, we told her, enda upike, just show us what you can do. So I am a foodie as well, but we didn't mind her food. It's actually really yummy. And so with that, I would support her. So like, okay, you cook for us how you know how to cook. And the thing is, the thing that I've appreciated about having a nanny is that they also know more than I do.
Yeah, it's true.
Even with the age bit, she's also older than my husband and I. So I do draw from her wealth of, you know, experience and life. So she would know how to make rice differently, or know how to make sandwich differently. And I'd be like, oh, tunaweza jaribu ile yako leo for breakfast. So just appreciating the things that she does and injects into the house, those are some of the ways that I've had, I would call it a thriving relationship with my nanny, because we are friends. We like each other. She loves my daughter. Then the other thing about my nanny, that a value that I have seen her maintain, and should always appreciate, is like, Mama Zuri, unakuanga na imani. You know, like you have
Imani.
trust.
Oh, okay.
Trust, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's like, having a nanny is a game of trust.
It's true.
Yeah. So I trust her, she trusts me. So just by the fact that I'm boosting her, I'm like, you know what? I trust your choices. I trust whatever it is you're going to do. Because of that, I have seen she also is able to jiachilia. You know, like she can be herself. She can be herself. She can jituma. You know, you can look at something and meet a need.
Yes, that's such an important quality. And I never know how to like pick it out. But I think it's so important to have someone who sends themselves. You know, so that if the child is unwell, they're able to send like, you know, not just wait till you come home or something like that.
Aligonjeka, they're telling you in the evening, this child has been sick the whole day.
I know.
Aligonjeka.
Yes.
And to be honest, there are times when she does that. So again, because she's a mother, I've told her, you gauge. If it's something that you need to call me. Call me. So there are times when I'll see her phone, my phone ringing, and it's her, and I'll be like, there's something off. So if she can deal with a thing, that's how I've enabled her, and I've told her, I trust what you're doing. So until, if it's not an emergency, usipige. But then when she calls, I'm like, okay, this one I have to answer. And I'll answer and be like, and of course it's something that I need to deal with urgently. So the initiative also, one could be a personality thing, because again, I do enjoy learning people's personalities. Vivian mentioned she's a choleric. I do happen to be on the choleric side, but also very melancholic.
Oh,
yes.
That's
So
an interesting combination.
I know.
so I do get to gauge her personality. So I've had, the other thing I've not mentioned, I've had another nanny, because when I got her second baby, I now needed to have extra help at home, just so that I can be able to do things outside of the house. So you can tell personalities are different.
Yes.
Yes. So this is someone, again, you said responsibilities, like she has her own responsibilities and the initiatives that she takes up. You can tell there's someone else who probably doesn't see that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this other one wasn't probably seeing the way the first one was seeing things, just because of personality. One, again, was a firstborn. This other one was further down in the birth order. So the firstborn has had to take responsibility not only for her siblings but also her children. This other one maybe has not had to take a lot of responsibility. So also just gauging the humanness, also gauging their personalities, gauging their birth order. How they are able to jituma. Those are some of the things that have worked for myself.
For me, personality for me played a major role when it comes to nannies.
Like the personality that
My
blends.
personality.
Okay.
My
Your
personality.
personality, gotcha.
Because, as I said, I like things done at a particular way. And funny enough, me and my husband almost have the same personality, the cholericness. So we like things done a particular way. And we had that opinion of familiarity breeds contempt. So where's the boundary that I am friendly, you are allowed to be yourself, but there's still the relationship where you are working for me, and the person having enough wisdom to know, okay, now I'm being too familiar with you. Now I'm not being respectful, which has been a play of learning each other. And for me, knowing their humanness has been, I have contracts, by the way.
Good job.
I make them sign contracts. We even have a trial period. So then the trial period is 2 months or a month. Then we'll sit down with you and tell you, okay, for that 1 month, this is what we liked about you. This was excellent about you. We think you need to work on this and this and this. For that 2 months, how have you found us? Are you willing to stay? Where do you think we are being overbearing? Because choleric personality can be overbearing because we're always picking on integrities. And they point it out. So it's a chance for me to improve and a chance for them to improve. And in this 2-month period, I am normally so hands-on. And I tell them, in these 2 months, you will feel the presence. You will feel, we will be there. But once you get the flow of this house, we will keep on letting go of the rails to a point where you'll be like, hey, this is where these people. Because we are also learning to trust you in these 2 months. And in these 2 months is where also I'm getting to know you, to get to know the person you are, the kind of personality you have, and just trying to also uplift you and encourage you. Then second, in that contract, it has rules and things you should do and not do. My child has ever almost gotten taken away by a nanny. It's called, I almost said robbed. Kidnapped, yes, that's the word. By a nanny. So in that contract, I have an outright rule of you do not leave the main gate with my children, because as we already have a bad experience. And in those...
What happened in that instance? Maybe it'll help somebody else.
Scary. Got this nanny as a referral from my sister. The nanny also, I think she was melancholic. She was just not joyful. And so we're trying to infuse some energy in her. So particular day, my baby was small and she used to like eating outside. Because the other kids were like, yeah, this is cheer on. So she used to eat a lot when she's eating outside. So I used to be like, okay, just go out with her, give her a ball. She can play as she eats. So they've gone, it's been like an hour. My husband works from home. So the other kids bring the ball back home. And the dad is like,
Where's the baby?
Where's the baby? The baby left this boy down there. They're bringing it back after an hour. So he's like, she's not down there.
my
No, she's not down there. So my husband goes down. Oh, baby. There is
And there's
completely no
nanny
baby,
as
no
well?
nanny. So he's calling her, she's not picking. He's calling her and calling her, she's not picking. So he called me and I'm at work. And she's like, I'm trying to call this girl, she's not picking. And she went an hour ago
With the baby.
with the baby.
Oh my God.
And I felt
Oh my
terror. The terror.
Honestly.
My tummy. Oh, my tummy. I would have been
my
that
gosh.
confused because I'm like, do I go? What do I do? I was so confused.
And like the security guards, what are they saying?
They're like, they know her, she's the nanny. They're no talent about it. So he just jets outside with no direction. This is just sheer God. And he turns to the direction that they went. And I think he's half running and he's half walking, like he's just
Oh, he's not
frantic.
driving, he just walked.
He just went. And he was just like, me, I need to find my baby. And he walks for a distance, for a very long distance. And he finds them at a stage, almost about to board a car.
My goodness.
No.
And he asks her, where were you going with the child? She's not responding. I was just like, before I arrive in that house, she better have left.
Yeah.
Please, because some of us
There's
will
something
sleep in
will
prison.
rise from down here.
Something is up. One of us will be jailed.
Yeah.
It can be you
Oh
or me.
my gosh. Yeah.
It was bad. So
Oh
he let her go. One of the things he did that surprises me is that he paid her. He paid her full money. She had only stayed for 2 days. I was livid. I was livid. I'm like, excuse me. Excuse me.
Like he even had
No. Yeah,
the
he was just
mental.
like, he was just like, just take the
your money,
money
go.
and just go. It's okay. Me in my head, I'm like, How did you pay her?
That's how you just know men have boxes. Like him, he closed the box for
child is
kidnapped
okay.
baby. How much do we owe you? Closed back that box and oh my gosh.
Guys.
I am so sorry.
That also informed on how we should write the things that we say yes to and things that we're like no to. And so when we are telling you this, we also give you a background.
Yeah.
As to why I'm telling you, don't leave the main gate with my children. You can stay in the compound, but don't do that. Then they also get to know, okay, these parents are thinking like that because of this. Yeah. So, and then the other rule is I don't have a rule on food.
yeah.
You eat whatever you
Whatever
want
you
to
want,
eat.
however you want to
Hey,
eat.
so anakula. I'm like, ni sawa.
Yeah, it's fine.
Eat forever.
Let them eat.
Yeah, she'll not eat
It's
forever.
food.
First of all, she'll realize, this house kuna food. Some of them have come to a place where they had gone through such hardships that when they find a constant supply of things,
Yeah, it's
they're in shock. It's a shock. So every time they're like, this house, there are things.
Yeah.
So I found if you keep for them, the vikwazo that are too tight, then that's how you start even kosanaing with them.
Though, by the way, interestingly, I have friends who have different food, like different food for the nannies, and they still fall in that group of keeping nannies for 10 years.
Perhaps there are nannies who are like, me, if I eat rice, I don't have energy.
Yes, so maybe that's where they're coming from. So they do like maybe the ugali for them, like something solid.
So it's
Don't
like
give
me,
me a
nataka kate. You're there giving them oatmeal. They're like, what is this? What is this that looks like porridge?
They just want a
not
good
porridge.
People here take juice in the morning.
Eh? Like juice for
Okay. That is so true. It's probably like giving them what they want.
Yeah.
And I think that is so important to take time. And as I listen to you, what I'm thinking is that to take time and just ask them about their world. You know, what do you know, like maybe you give them oatmeal because we all have oatmeal this morning and they're just like, Maze, if I can leave this place and just get bread, I'll be fine. You know, and I guess we're all like that. You know, I've worked for places where we're given food and half the guys don't want that food. You know, you're like, Like if you only just give me, you know? So
money.
maybe that's tip number one,
Yeah.
to take time and find out, you know, as you're asking them all these questions, also like find out, you know, what do
you
they
like?
you know, to eat, you know, or what like is your preference? Okay, not that now they start saying sasa ile chicken but you know, to just tell them, you know, in the confines of our house, what do you like, you know? And I think that's a good tip, because then they also feel needed,
Yeah.
like and seen,
Yeah.
right? You know, the other day I got, and I mean literally the other day, I got a really amazing help, and I thought she was right for us. And now because of the number of children I have 2 helps, because of taking care of the other 3 and one to take care of the newborn.
Yeah.
And it's just short-lived. Like I literally cannot wait for when I can go back to just having one and eventually a day back, you know, because I think that just works for us.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I remember watching, like, this is how much I'm trying to get this right. So I was watching a YouTube video, and this lady was talking about, you know, red flags. And she mentioned one of the red flags is if you get her help and like, she just keeps saying, by the way, can I get this and this? Like, keeps talking about, like, she just sounds like she has dissonance. Like, she's just not comfortable. She's like, that's a red flag, you know? And she's like, even from the interview, you'll just see you've already told her what works for your house. And she's just like, but can I? But she's like, don't hire that person. I was like, I wish I knew, because I got this help and I loved her. You know, she seemed really nice. The baby took very long to liken to her, but I just thought it's because she's new. And I think that's also a red flag.
A red flag.
Yes, now I know.
Trust your
Yes,
children.
yes. And so she just kept saying, so sasa, siwezi enda Friday off, you know, see, you're sure siwezi, you know, and I'm explaining
It's
to
a
her,
loophole.
trust me, it's just because it's a newborn, but soon, as these guys are old enough, like, I won't need you Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like, I'll be good. But for now, I need, like, all hands on deck. Like, I can't afford not to have someone on Friday, you know, because I'm also at work. But you know, when all the kids are in school, like, everybody leaves in the morning, in the evening, we come and you know, so I told her Friday wouldn't work. And, you know, I guess for her, she was just there until she found another job. And like 2 weeks in, she just said, you know, she's not able to take care of the newborn, and she's just waiting for the end of the month to go, and she left. And so when I watched this YouTube video, I'm like, okay, so they're actually red flags.
Yeah.
And you guys seem to know them, and I'm finding them out now, 10 years later, you know, so that's one, you know, like if they keep looking like they have dissonance, it's like you joining a job, and like 2-3 weeks in, you're like, what? You know, I can't get this, no. You can't get, no. Then you, of course, start looking for something else, because you're like, this is not it for me. So that's a red flag. And I guess there are many more. Are there any others we want to say? Any other red flags?
For me, trust your mom.
That is so
mom gut. You have, they say women have 6 senses, moms have 7.
Yes.
There's a mom gut.
Yeah.
That you just feel this person has spirits. There's something. They've not done anything wrong.
Yes.
They're doing their job.
Yeah.
But you are just feeling unsettled. Because I'm like, hey, I don't like firing. I pray. I pray and tell God. Yeah, they're good. I pray and tell God,
like we need
Lord,
to high five on
yeah,
that.
I'm like, God, I'm
Because
feeling
the faith.
unsettled.
Yes, because by the way, like almost 80% of the helps who end up leaving, it's the
They live
same
by
thing.
themselves.
I'll just be like, God, I don't know what it is, but I just feel
something
something.
off.
And I'm like, God, if there's something here that's not good, please just release this help.
Yes.
And they'll just wake up, they'll be like, and by the way, I'll make that prayer today.
Tomorrow.
I'll just wake up and she'll be like, I have to go. Kuna sijui nini inabidi niende, and I'm just like,
yeah.
sawa, asante.
Thank you,
Hii ndio
Jesus.
pesa yako.
Asante.
Yeah.
Even that one who has stayed for long, and they stayed for long, and now you're starting
All
to
of a
feel
sudden.
Yeah.
there's something off with you, and I'll keep on prodding you, and you're still not wanting to be forthcoming with what is wrong. I go and pray. If I feel like my kids, I can read their mood. I can read they're unsettled. You know, the way when you come home and the kids are just on you. They're just like, thank you for coming. We were dying. That's for me is a red flag.
Wow.
Because I have had a nanny who my kids were just like, hi, mom.
And they move on.
They're with the nanny in the kitchen. They're with the nanny everywhere. Not because I feel like she was so their friend that they were just like, we're okay, mom. And there's this one who your kids are trying to communicate something to you, that we are
the best way they
unsettled.
can.
Yeah, we are unsettled. There's something off that continues. Maybe there are those people who put cameras, but now maybe if you don't have cameras, trust your children, trust your mom gut.
Yeah, any red flags on your end that you'd want to mention?
Mine are not red flags.
Yeah.
So what are they called? Amber flags. just
there,
just there. Well, because again, I've only had one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lucky you.
Thanks. So, but then I think communication for me is an amber flag.
Yeah. Not able to express
Yeah, if you're not able to express yourself, if I have to always find you. And again, I don't know whether one of you mentioned, we also I like to treat my house as an office, because I have worked also in an office setup. I had to have communication going. You know, if I'm getting late, if I'm not feeling well,
Yeah.
you know, like I'm not leaving it up to my boss to figure it out.
Yeah.
And also I'm not
Is she
bringing-
well?
Yeah, is she
Starting
well?
an attitude, you're like,
Hey. Could it be that time of the month? Did she have a run-in with someone? You know, so some of those for me are amber flags. I am trying to work around them again in my home, but the other thing, how I am able to navigate that is trust that she's an adult, but then also insist this is how I want communication to be done.
Yeah.
If you're running late, if you're unwell, if there's anything that I need to know, if there's something
you're
off,
constantly on your phone.
yes,
There's something off.
Yes,
Yeah.
just have to say. So because if someone doesn't communicate, the question would be, what are you hiding? Yes,
True.
And why am I having to follow you up as an adult, and you're the one who came and asked for the job?
Yeah.
Yes.
I also learned something close to communication. One of the times when I was looking for a new house manager, and a friend called me and she's like, I have somebody. But when I spoke to her, she's like, I can give her to you. I interviewed her on the phone, but she just didn't sound excited, even on the phone.
Vibes,
And
guys.
she's like, because of that, she can't pick her. And I was like, oh, that's actually a thing. And when I think back to help who you feel like you're getting them excited on the phone, like they never even stay. You know, like maybe they're just not excited about that work or you or your work.
Or your four children.
Yes, or my 4 children. You know, so I guess vibes is real.
vibes
You know,
is
like
real.
to just, and you know, that's why I usually say, like, if I interview on the phone and it doesn't click, well, I'm not the SI unit for that really, but usually I'm like, if on the phone I don't feel that vibe, then I won't hire you. Yeah,
There's
you know.
a nanny I had who just said, I said, hello? She said, hi, mama. I was like, kuja kesho. Kuja kesho.
I would be
Kazi
so
ni
scared.
yako.
I would be so scared of that one.
Oh, why?
Kuja, hi, mama. I'm like, hi, mama. I don't know you. Wait, hold on.
We are so different. I would also hire the Vivian. That's why we have problems, because I would hire the same. Yeah.
Come, let me tell you, she came. First of all, she was so pretty. So my back girl was like, wow, she looks like a doll. I was like, even you're feeling the vibes. Okay, it's me and you.
Guys.
I also have a friend of mine, and she's one of those who's had 10 years and all that. And she's like, if she jumps onto an interview and someone is just talking about how she goes to church, how she, you know, like is so spiritual and things like that, she also doesn't hire. She's like,
I've learned. Like, that's what I've learned the hard way. Like there's one. I've not had many. So, but yeah, there's one who, again, because I'm a Christian, and I'd ask another interview question. I actually ask is,
Are you a Christian?
yes. Kanisa, because it's good to know wapi. So, but then this other one again, she wasn't very willing to tell me
Where?
ni wapi anaenda kanisa. And then when she came, you know, like we had to question, is she Catholic? Is she Protestant? Is, you know, like that whole,
it's not
yeah, it wasn't very clear. So again, I had to pinch myself and say, I also need to be careful with this for unenda kanisa ama huendi kanisa, because our longest, ni wa kanisa, lakini pia si wa kanisa sana.
Yeah. But I guess you also determine, which is what I'm hearing you say, you determine like what works for your household and what doesn't. And I think that's where I've gotten to as well, where you're like, okay, I want a clean house and I want my sons eat. So like, I just need someone who can organize to make sure food is ready when it's needed. Like, and then neatness, because it's also many children, like especially their room and all that, like they need to make sure the kids also clean where they need to or whatever, because they also have their chores. So those three things. Now, if maybe all these other things don't work, I'm like, it's fine. As long as they can do a few, I guess you need to pick your bare minimums as well.
Perhaps, that's a pointer to be like, these are the things that I want done. Because unfortunately or fortunately, this career of nannies is mostly female dominated. And as females, we have so much going on in our minds. And so if you tell her, these are my non-negotiables, like by the end of the day, these kids are fed, they are happy, and the house is clean and looks neat. If I had said do general cleaning for the kitchen and you did not get to eat,
it's fine.
It's good. It's okay to have grace for them also, because I'm sure even us in our workplace, there are tasks that you don't get to, not because you're lazy. Just that
one task is urgent and important.
Maybe giving them grace also makes them stay. Because they're like, oh, this person is not
I'd rather beware. And even as we wind up, and in like a second, you know, I'm listening to you and I'm also thinking about a mother out there who's also like, so do you pray with your nannies? Do you eat with them? Do you buy them like sanitary pads, soap, tissue? You know, like where do you draw the line? I know like once in my life I would get them uniform, but I would not get them the normal uniform. I'd get for them like kitenge, like nice outfits, so they're proud to do it. But now I noticed like after 3 months, they've gone with their uniform and I've bought, and they've left as well. So I have new nannies and I have to do it again. So at some point I was like, okay, the day I will have a nanny for a year, then I will get it as a benefit for that year. But you know what? Do you do those sort of things for your nannies? And if yes, what?
For me, I do a starter pack where I will buy for you pads, your own soap. We can't subject you. Maybe unatakanga geisha. I'm like, a shower gel. You're like, what is this? So I'm like, what do you use? What do you like? And I buy for you.
Starter packs.
Starter packs. I'm like, what do you like? And I buy for you because maybe you have come and you didn't have income. And perhaps you have struck gold.
It's true.
I'm like, okay, starter pack. So that also you encourage them not to be envious, to steal. She's cleaning your room. She's seeing you have things, and she's feeling, struggling. So it helps with that. And then I also do bonuses in December.
I do that as well.
And I also do targets. So for instance, I have a toddler who's
so
2.
choleric.
I know, right? This is corporate. And like, if you are able to train him, train him, that money I'm using to buy diapers, I will give it to you. So she's of very energy, ajituma. So that she can get that bonus, you know. So we just keep on getting nanny. If she has that spirit of sending herself, like today I find she has washed the windows, I give her an incentive. So it helps them to be like, this woman is just not my standard salary.
Okay.
Prompt payment, just not payment, prompt. And I know my nanny has said she appreciates the prompt payment. Like you don't have to wait until 10th or 5th the next month.
15th.
Yeah, 15th, So my husband and I have made sure that we are prompt in our payment towards her. Then another thing that we also did with my nanny was we had it's what you're calling bonus, but then we do give the bonus, but also just to uplift her, there's a way we had a chama with her. So part of her, so we'd give her a salary and then withhold a bit and say it's going towards the chama kitty. So this was money that if she needed something, you know, TV livunjika, I need to replace her phone screen, I need to do this. So she would get money from this particular chama. So it was her money, and then now we'd also
It's like how pension is done.
Exactly, yes. So that
good
was,
idea.
so that's what we did for her. And it's money that it's money that has helped her.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
What about those nannies who you, during December, you shopped for them, they're taking them to the village, and then come January,
They don't
They
come
don't
back.
show up.
That breaks my heart.
Tender women. Copyright tender women. Copyright. Sorry.
My heart, guys.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I also know people who give their bonus when they come back in January.
That's a nice
As
idea.
a way, but I'm for tender women.
Tender zako.
You know, because
I
I'm
need to
like, I
learn
wouldn't
that.
want my boss to be like, you'll get your bonus in January, and I need it in December. That's when the holidays.
Looking at you.
Yeah.
Zima.
So I guess you choose what
Yeah.
works, or you know, you could do
Keep
the
part of
tender,
it, yeah.
or keep part of
Yeah,
it.
and
You
then
know,
give them in January.
but I loved everything we've talked about. I have learned so much. Thank you. Thank you for sharing so authentically, for making me laugh so hard, and also just, you know, be reminded of so many things, you know, in this walk, this journey called motherhood, you know. And I'm so sorry for what you had to go through. That so scares me. Like, I feel like I'm leaving here going home to remind the watchers, you cannot keep eye. Please don't let anybody walk out with my child. But you know, I guess we live and learn, and you know, we've learned from you. So this has been She. Thank you so much for listening, and for those who are watching, for watching. And remember, these are human beings with feelings, with families, with a whole world, just like you do. So to be good to them and be a blessing to them as they are being to you, because you know what? At the end of the day, we're being Christians and we're shining that light. And if you'd want to give, remember you can give by 2316. Send an SMS to 2316 and say partner, and we'll come back to you. And for those who've been giving, thank you so much for giving. And if you'd want to give, please get on to Paybill 316, and on account number, put in your name. And thank you again for your giving the last 25 years and this specific giving. This has been She. See you next week right here on She. God bless you.